Well, praise the Lord. This is Bishop Warren Boyd, and this is Monday Motivation. This is our opportunity to give you a word of encouragement for your week. Last week was important as it marked a 1 year milestone from the time that COVID 19 was declared to be a pandemic. It's hard to believe that it's been a whole year and our lives have been dramatically changed by everything that we have gone through, from quarantine to shutdown to isolation, from businesses, schools being impacted as well. But the church has also been dramatically impacted. Practically everything that we do uh, takes place on a congregational basis, that we come together, that we sing together, that we exhort one another together, that we sit close together, and that we hug one another and kiss one another. And all of those things have been dramatically changed even when we have gathered together. We've had to virtually worship together. Live streaming has become the norm. Many people in our congregation we have not seen for a long time. Uh, and we've always encouraged people to come together and to worship together. But those things have dramatically changed. And today, in the wake of this new milestone, this 1 year, I want to encourage us, first of all, that we're still here. And there have been many people that have passed away as a result of the pandemic. But we're still here. And because we're still here, I want us to be encouraged to not faint, to not give in, to not collapse, to not fall or to not fail. And in this climate that we're living in, many people's lives have been so dramatically touched that there have been these mental health challenges that we have to confront. So don't faint and don't give in to the exhaustion. Don't give in to the weight of what we have to go through. I thought about boxers, when boxers have been hit hard and they go back to their corner, when they've been knocked down and go, their trainers take smelling salts, uh, because it stimulates, it energizes, it reinvigorates them to smell that. It's so powerful that many times you see them jerk their head back because of those smelling salts, but they have a purpose. And even now, athletes use them just as a stimulant. They don't have to be knocked down, they don't have to get woozy, but they just use it because those smelling salts have an impact to reinvigorate them and re-energize them. I want to tell you today that God has smelling salts for us. If we become faint, if we become weary, God has smelling salts for us in His Word. It's Psalm 27:13 that tells us, "I would have fainted unless I believed to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living." His goodness ought to reinvigorate us. Uh, Experience the goodness of the Lord ought to stimulate us to keep on going, to get up and to go again, and to keep on pressing and to keep on moving forward. 2 Corinthians 4:1 tells us, "As we have received mercy, we faint not." His mercies ought to encourage us, motivate us to keep on going and not to faint and not to give up or not to give in. And then Galatians 6:9 tells us, "Let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not." It is the promise that if we won't give up, that God will help us. It's His promise, it's His mercy, it's His goodness that the Word reminds us that's God's smelling salt to us today, that we will not give up. We should not give up. We should keep on pressing and keep on believing and keep on trusting God. You're still here. It's a year later and you're still here. And God has something good for you, and God has something great for you in the days to come if you just don't faint, if you just don't throw in the towel, if you just don't quit. So we're still here. And I want to encourage you that today, even though it's been a year, even though we've had to go through a lot, even though we've been dramatically changed, that God has not intended this milestone to be your tombstone. So don't quit, don't faint, don't give in, keep pressing on. God bless you. This has been Monday Motivation.